What's going on, my people? Thanks for tuning in to Total Payout Podcast. It's your host, Trouble. Today's date, March 13th, Friday the 13th, but we're going to make today a lucky day. Yesterday we went 2-1, 2-1, not bad. We had the Grizzlies +5, the only L we took. We had the Celtics +7, and then we had the Nuggets +6. Now today's date, we have three picks. We got Phoenix versus Toronto. We're gonna take a look at that. We got New Orleans versus Houston. Take a look at that game, and we got Cleveland versus Dallas. We're gonna take a look at that game as well. Now the first game we're gonna take a look at is gonna be Phoenix versus Toronto. This is their first meeting of the season. Head to head, Phoenix head to head last 10. Phoenix 6-4 straight up last 10. Toronto 7-3 against the spread last 10, and the under is 7-3 last 10 as well. Now Phoenix is 5-4 straight up away versus the East. Toronto 5-7 straight up at home versus the West. Phoenix 5-4 against the spread away versus the East. Toronto 5-7 against the spread at home versus the West. Now my line on this game I got as a pick total around 224, 225. On this game, I'm gonna go ahead and take Phoenix plus the 4. Phoenix hot right now. Toronto struggle against the West, straight up and against the spread. Just think Phoenix is better than Toronto. We know Toronto kind of fluky, man. So we're gonna take Phoenix plus 4 in that game. Now, taking a look at the next game is gonna be New Orleans versus Houston. Now, this is their third meeting of the season. First meeting took place December 18th at home for New Orleans. They came through plus 9.5 as a dog. New Orleans won straight up 133, 128 in overtime and went over the total of 235.5. Second meeting January 18th in Houston. New Orleans came through as a 13.5 point dog. Houston won straight up 119, 110, went under the total of 232.5. Now, head to head last 10. Houston 7-3 straight up last 10. Houston is 5-4-1 against the spread last 10, and then the total is even 5-5 as far as the total. Now, New Orleans 7-14 straight up away versus the West. Houston is 15-5 straight up at home versus the West. New Orleans is 15-6 against the spread away versus the West. Houston 8-13 at home versus the West. Now, New Orleans is 8-2 against the spread last 10. Cleveland is 2-5 against the spread last 7. This one, I have, it's not really hard for me to take this one, man. I do have Houston as a 9-point favorite on this game in my personal line, but sometimes I have to fade myself, man. I'm looking at Houston right now. They're struggling right now. I don't know what's going on. Obviously, you got some injuries going on, but ever since the All-Star break, KD Burner, Houston ain't looking the same. They're not looking like they focus. You know, they win games here and there, but they just don't look like they ready to ball. They ready for the playoffs. New Orleans been balling, man. They've been not necessarily balling, but they've been getting their act together. Obviously, it's a little bit too little, too late. But at this point in time in this game, I think Houston gonna struggle. Obviously, they tie 1-1. New Orleans has covered both games, so I'm gonna take New Orleans again with the 7 points in this game. Now, the third and final game we're going to look at is Cleveland versus Dallas. Now, this is their first meeting as well. I think this is a back-to-back. So you got Dallas and then Friday. Then I think they are in Cleveland on Sunday. So I want to keep that in mind. Now, this is Dallas' first game back from a 6-game road trip. And they are on a back-to-back. They played Memphis yesterday. And then you got Cleveland coming in off of, I think, like a 2-game road trip. Just their last game of that road trip before they go home to play Dallas, like I say, on a home and home. Now, head-to-head, Cleveland 7-3 straight up last 10. They're even against the spread, 5-5 last 10. And then they're 5-5 over-under even the last 10 on the total as well. Now, Cleveland is 5-4 straight up away against the West. Dallas 6-6 straight up at home versus the East. Cleveland is 4-5 against the spread away versus the West. Dallas is 8-4 against the spread at home versus the East. This one's easy for me. Not super easy, but as far as, like I say, man, handicapping Cleveland, they don't have Jared Allen. And they playing against a team that play rugged. I'm going against them because they don't have enough big bodies in the middle to go to withstand that. You asking Evan Mobley to pretty much play 2 positions at this point, to be center and power forward, because Thomas Bryant is the only other real big they got, other than Dean Wade. So as far as that, I respect as far as a real true big. Everybody else is 6'7", 6'8", and just like against Orlando, everybody on the other side is going to be pretty much the same height. I mean, even Cooper Flag, 6'9", 6'10", so it's like they need bodies. And I mean, even Jared Allen's only one person, but he was balling before he went out, and you could tell they miss him. So I like Dallas getting 12.5 points, even though they're on the back-to-back. I just think they got enough ammunition to play Cleveland. I think they're going to show up against Cleveland. It's James Harden, Donovan Mitchell. They're not going to look at them. They showed up against Memphis the day before. Hopefully, Chris Middleton had 30 points, first time having 30 in like 3 years. So hopefully he got enough, left in the tank to give us 20 plus, at least match James, and get Cooper to match Donovan, and maybe Gaffer can go ahead and bang up against Evan Mobley, and him Bagley, and PJ can make Evan work down low. A three-headed monster against Evan Mobley. I like the matchup, man. You got Najee over there. Hopefully they was on a back-to-back. Clay had rest, so Clay might come back with that trigger finger out there on fire. So I just like Dallas, man. They get 12.5 points at home. They play good versus the East. Cleveland not the greatest versus the West. And like I said, we watching Cleveland struggle without Jared Allen. So I like that as far as that pick. So like I said, we got 3 teams today. We got Phoenix getting 4 points against the Toronto Raptors. We got New Orleans getting 7 points against Houston, and then we got the Dallas Mavericks at home getting 12.5 points against the Cleveland Cavaliers. I want to thank you guys for tuning in to Total Payout Podcast. This your host Trouble. Today's date March 13th, Friday the 13th. But like I said, we're gonna make today a lucky day, man. Well, let's go ahead and sweep the books and cash that check. You guys have a great, 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 wonderful Friday. Stay out the way. You guys have a blessed day. Thank you. Like, comment, and subscribe at the end of this video as well.
A heavyweight, they be light work. Change my lane on these niggas and it might work.